Somehow I get the feeling that this is the type of video that I'll have to do an update for almost every month.
I wasn't even able to finish editing this video without a new story about Donald Trump's racist tendencies breaking out in the news again. I know, right? Surprise, surprise. According to CNN.com and Vanity Fair, Michael Cohen has claimed that Donald Trump used racist language in several private conversations with him during the time that Cohen worked as Trump's personal lawyer and fixer. Cohen recalled 4 times that Trump made denigrating comments to him about black people. Cohen alleged that Trump made a disparaging comment about African-American voters when they were discussing the turnout for one of his 2016 campaign rallies. Trump responded, the reason black turnout at his rallies was low was because black people were too stupid to vote for him. Cohen claims that when South African leader Nelson Mandela died, Trump remarked, "Name one country run by a black person that's not a shithole." And then he added, "Name one city." Cohen also claimed that Trump said, there's no way he could let an African-American contestant from season 1 of The Apprentice be the reality show's first winner. Trump was explaining his back and forth about not picking Kwame Jackson, an African-American investment manager who had graduated from Harvard Business School. Trump said, "There's no way I can let this black fucking win." Yeah, you're shocked, right? Totally shocked. In any event, think of this video as your reminder and a short list for many of the racist things that Donald Trump has done or said. This video may also be helpful for those of you who have Trump supporters in your family, and when confronted with their bullshit, please feel free to refer to this video as your cheat sheet. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Now back to the main video.
For the typical politician, some racist comments would have been enough to sink their entire careers a long time ago, but not Donald Trump. Sometimes Donald Trump will do things that make people laugh. He'll be laughed at by TV commentators. They'll even laugh at him during a United Nations General Assembly. Yes, people do find him entertaining. But one thing is for sure, you shouldn't let the reality show entertainment values that Donald Trump has brought to the White House fool you. And that's why this video is entitled, If You Ever Doubted That Donald Trump Was a Racist. I just want to take a time out to reemphasize some facts that I think get lost in the onslaught of the news. Don't get it twisted. Trump knows how to flood the zone and make you forget the most controversial words that have ever flowed from out of the mouth of a modern-day US politician. But remember, to be distracted is to be destroyed. The key question is, why are we so surprised where Trump's loyalties remain? Before everything else, I constantly remind myself that Trump's father, Fred Trump, the man who supposedly gave his son $1 million to launch his career, even though current news reports are saying that Donald Trump actually got much more than $1 million from his father than Donald would care to admit, because it makes his rags to riches millionaire to billionaire fairy tale story a lie. But that's another topic for another day. I find that I'm constantly reminding myself that Donald Trump's father, Fred Trump, was arrested at a Ku Klux Klan rally in Queens, New York in 1927. That's a fact that's been documented by several sources. Rachel Maddow even did a segment about it on one night on her show.
The following year, in 1927, there was a Klan rally and march in New York City. The police commissioner at the time made a point of telling the public that this was kind of a landmark moment for the Klan in New York City. It's not that he didn't know that the Klan was active in New York City. It's just that New York City had never before seen 1,000 Klansmen turn out in the streets in robes and masks like they did in May 1927. According to news reports at the time, there were 7 men who were arrested at that Klan march in New York. One of them was Fred Trump, who was the father of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has previously responded to reporting about this incident by saying it never happened, never happened, never happened. The whole thing is made up.
So when you know that Donald Trump's father was arrested at a Klan rally, why would anyone be surprised that Donald Trump is sympathetic about what happened to his father at a Klan rally in 1927, or what happens to other white males at a white nationalist gathering such as Charlottesville in 2017? Why does Donald Trump never speak about the fact that his father was arrested at that Klan rally? Or why does Donald Trump deny his father's involvement altogether? When you realize that Daddy Trump was arrested at a Klan rally, then it starts to make sense why Donald Trump would say that both sides were equally to blame for what happened in Charlottesville. It starts to make sense why Donald Trump would ask, why are we having all these people from these shithole countries come here to the United States? The shithole countries being from the continent of Africa and the country of Haiti. When you realize that Daddy Trump was arrested at a Klan rally, it makes sense then why in the 1980s Donald Trump would call for the execution of 5 black males in New York City. Those 5 black males, the Central Park 5, would ultimately be exonerated and vindicated. Interestingly enough though, for Donald Trump, his Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, deserved the benefit of the doubt when the question arose as to whether Kavanaugh had sexually assaulted Dr. Christine Blasey Ford in their youth. For Trump, white male privilege meant that Kavanaugh should be presumed innocent until proven guilty. But Kavanaugh wasn't on trial. There were no criminal charges. Kavanaugh was, though, being interviewed for a lifetime position on the U.S. Supreme Court. The consideration of guilt or innocence wasn't on the level of a criminal trial, but it was worth considering for a lifetime appointment to the United States Supreme Court. All that I can say is, Dr. Blasty Ford took the lie detector test. What about you, Mr. Kavanaugh? Sounds like Kavanaugh chumped out. So why does it make sense that Donald Trump would be sympathetic towards Kavanaugh, but unsympathetic toward the 5 black male teens, for whom he published full-page ads in 4 New York papers calling for their deaths before they were even convicted? Lastly, when you realize that Daddy Trump was arrested at a Klan rally in 1927, then it makes sense why Donald Trump and his father in the 1970s would discriminate against blacks and violate the Fair Housing Act by refusing to rent their apartments to African American families. When you think about all of those facts, just reflect on the fact that his dad, Fred Trump, was arrested at a Ku Klux Klan rally in 1927. If you ever doubted that Donald Trump was a racist, just look at the facts, because the facts speak for themselves. I'm Ben Williams, and this is DYForme.com.
Do you feel me? This is DYFME.com.